Hey guys, welcome back. So I thought I'd come on here and talk to you about what I think about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 after 1 year. So yes, I've had the DJI Pocket 3 for over a year, because I think I bought it when it first came out in October 2023, I believe. Because I remember getting a notification that an upgrade from the Pocket 2 would be coming out. I owned the Pocket 2, didn't use it for a while because it just wasn't as good. But this one's great. Spoiler alert, that's my thoughts on it. It is a great camera. What are some of the things that I like about it? Well, first of all, it's very portable. This is actually the longer version of it. I can remove this little bit here, and it can be as small as this, and it fits in your pocket. It's very portable. It's very compact in design. It even comes with its own case, so that you can be assured that it's not just flopping around in your bag. So yeah, and because it's got a gimbal built into it, it's always a good idea to have it protected, because that's a very sensitive mechanism. This films in 4K. The previous one, I can't remember if it filmed in 4K, but it definitely didn't film in 60 frames per second. It might have filmed in 4K, but maybe just to a maximum of 30 frames per second. This has got 10-bit color depth, and that means that you can actually recover more highlights, more shadows, more dynamic range, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's got better color depth in it. HDR capabilities, it definitely provides really good video quality. And it's also got a large sensor. It's the only one in the DJI lineup that has got a 1-inch sensor. And I really like that. I was actually hoping that the Action 5, I'm filming on the Action 5 at the moment, would get a 1-inch sensor. For the moniker of Pro, that was the expectation, but I don't know. Anyway, it does have a really good sensor size. So that means that it can bring in a lot more light. So this is actually better in low light. The other thing about it is, because it has gimbal built into it, it minimizes that motion blur, or that ghosting that you find when you're filming in low light. I already mentioned the gimbal, but it's fantastic. But I will hold off on that, because there is also sort of it also is kind of a con. And I'll tell you why. The other great thing was that the Pocket 2, the original one, had a screen that was like half the size of this one here. But this one has got that 2-inch touchscreen. Fantastic, perfect. As you can see, I can see a lot more when I'm filming, as opposed to that one. It's also very easy to use the functions in the touchscreen. When I compare it to the old one that I had, which is the Action 2, the Pocket 2. The interface is also very easy, and it's also very clean. It's got pretty good Bluetooth. When the Pocket 2 had its own microphone, which you could also use as a remote, this one can link into the DJI Mic 2, which I'm using, and it can link 2 of the microphones, not just one. Okay, and you can also use the microphone as a remote to control the shutter on the Pocket 3. Okay, yeah, so you could also film vertical and horizontal using this guy. Like, I remember in my Pocket 2, I think I was trying to sort of like do it that way, like put it mounted on a tripod using the 1/4-inch thread, and then hold it that way so that I can film vertically. But this one, you can do that without having to do any of those crap that I just mentioned. It's got better battery life than the predecessor, but that's to be expected whenever you're doing an upgrade. I mean, seriously. Most of the accessories are magnetic, particularly the lenses. I've got filters that go onto the lens very easily. Some filters are better than others, so I have to say. I've had a few filters that are very flimsy and the magnet isn't as strong, while there are others that are super strong that it's really a challenge to get it off. And when you do try, you often end up with putting fingerprints on the lens or the filter. So yeah, it also has got this little added item here, which is actually what you use for you to be able to get on the Wi-Fi. But yeah, and you can buy a separate extended battery. I've actually got one, but this isn't the DJI version. This is Star TRC? Yeah, Start RC is what it's called, and it's got 4,000 milliamperes for less than what the DJI brand is, or probably almost the same price. I think I paid $94 for this Australian. The DJI brand is 99 Australian dollars, but it charges half of how much this charges. This can charge your Pocket 3 up to almost 4 times, whereas the other one isn't as great. And so what I usually do is get this, make sure that this is, what do you call this? That this is fully charged. And then once this depletes, I'll go ahead and then plug this in, and then this will charge the Pocket 3. And once this is fully charged, I'll charge this again. This also serves as sort of like a longer handle for the Pocket 3. So sometimes you'd want to hold it a little bit farther away from you. So this is pretty good with that. Now, let's talk about the cons. And I'll start with the gimbal bit. As I've mentioned, this has got built-in gimbal, 3-axis or tri-axis gimbal built in, which means that you can't treat this like your action camera. You have to be a little bit more precious with this because the gimbal mechanism is quite sensitive. So in saying that, this is why I have the Action 5 Pro, so that for shots that require me to be a little bit more adventurous with my gear, then that's what the Action 5 Pro is for. Whereas this is going to be when I'm firmly holding it and wanting to do that vloggy kind of videos. And also I mentioned the battery, but yeah, so the Action 5, for instance, you could remove the battery and change it to a new one. I've got 3 batteries for the Action 5. This one isn't like that. You can't remove the battery in here. So that's another thing, that if anything happens to the battery inside, you're going to have to send the whole thing to DJI for them to repair it, as opposed to just changing up the battery. So that's one thing. It also has a limited field of view. So I think it has an equivalent of 20 mm. And if you get the filter that is the wide lens, it then widens it up to 15 mm, which still isn't very wide. But for vlogging, it's fine. I mean, just to compare the field of view, I'm filming myself right now on here, and you can also see that I'm filming myself on the Pro. But I will put it in the same distance as the Pro, and then I'll put on the screen what they look like side by side, so you can see how much wider the Action 5 field of view is versus what the natural field of view of the Pocket 3 is without the wide lens, because I don't own the wide lens for this. So I'm gonna put that side by side so you can see. But yeah, so this is more of like your vloggy camera. Obviously the Action 5, because it's supposed to be capturing more action shots, has got a wider field of view. I would have preferred if this had the 15 mm without having to put lens on it, but it's fine. I think that's it. I can't really think of any other cons with, at least for the way that I use this, I can't really think of any other cons that I would like to mention, because this, like I said earlier, also has Bluetooth capability for you to be able to attach the two DJI mics, because the DJI Mic 2 set that I have are the ones that have the receiver and the two transmitters, so they both work. I don't need to attach the transmitter on here for it to work. It just works when you connect it on Bluetooth, and the audio isn't bad. So yeah, I really like bringing this along. Typically, it would be able to fit in my pocket. That's why it's called the Pocket 3. Especially when you take off this extra bit here, it becomes very small. I typically just leave it on. So yeah, and then if I wanted, oh, the other thing that I really liked about this, it has active track. So if I wanted to make the vlog look like somebody is holding the camera and following me around, it can do that. So yeah, fantastic little piece of gear. Definitely something that I enjoy using and would continue to use for a long time, until maybe they bring out the successor of this guy. It might not even be worth upgrading at that time, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. If you like this video, give it a like. In the comment section below, let me know, do you own the Pocket 3? What are your thoughts about it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are your cons? What are your pros? Maybe I missed something. Yeah, and I'll see you all again in the next video. Thanks. Bye.